After all this time I can't seem to repair my source of life and the fear to beware my freedom of choice, the way out of this nightmare. When I look at you and you look at me, there's a veil of hatred I don't want to see. I keep my eyes wide open, am I the only end? More questions leads to no answers. In the dark we all become masters. Vampires to bane the mankind. Disaster is laid upon the break faster. Quicksand sucked into a hole so pitiful. Hellhounds await to change you to an animal. All hope gone, the core is in a crisis. One of these days my head is gonna crack. Step out the shadows and move to attack. Pressers and foul ones slain in a pack. Last rat runs and he can't come back. Then where you gonna run to? And where you gonna hide? Then where you gonna run to? And where you gonna hide? And after all this time you can't seem to exceed your need to feed. You bleed death to complete mindless test quest, a hole in the universe. When I look at you and you look at me, you see nothing but grief, destructive belief. These morbid souls that got lost in the street. And too bad this hole will not fix, not fill. More like emptiness spills. Mankind just can't crank these levers. Adjust and rotate to the next level. One by one the secrets unravel. Overwhelming your mind, transform to a rebel. Dancer of the dark, a freelancer. A storm coming out, how can you resist? Grinding your teeth, make a squeeze in your fist. Finding the chosen, are you on the list? Live life in the bliss, the right to know the gist. And then where you gonna run to? And where you gonna hide? Then where you gonna run to? And where you gonna hide? And after all this time they can't seem to apprise. From the deep hole of these rules they apply. The nightmare is on until they're gonna die. When I look at them and they look at me, the lie is a physical fact they believe. The rule must be crushed for freedom to be. Goddamn, the slaves are like idiots on a retard search for these idioms. Samples and models of defied ideas, keeping the machine greased, happy no tears. Humanity's God kept pressed in the fears. I am the one that wakes you from the sleep. Prepare for rough shit, this goes to extreme. Now is the time to uprise in the barricade. Wait for too long, you don't see another day. Be sure to slay and decapitate monsters and devils, then chase them away. And where you gonna run to? And where you gonna hide? Then where you gonna run to? And where you gonna hide? And after all this time they can't seem to repair my source of life and the fear to beware my freedom of choice, the way out of this nightmare. When I look at you and you look at me, there's a veil of hatred I don't want to see. I keep my eyes wide open, am I the only? Where you gonna run to? Where you gonna hide? Where you gonna run to? Where you gonna hide? Where you gonna run to? Where you gonna hide? Where you gonna run to? Where you gonna fucking hide? Where you gonna fucking hide?